What's up, everybody? In today's video, we're going to be changing the heater core on my 1986 Fox Body Mustang. The 86 has a little bit different dash, so the steps are going to be a little different, but we're going to be replacing this guy, and I am not excited at all. I've never done it before, so I'm going to show you the steps that I'm taking to make this thing happen, and hopefully it can help you do the same thing. So let's get right up on into the video. Alright, so I know my heater core's bad because it's just spewing out coolant all the time. It's all over my floorboard, and it's, you know, I have, my car has a turbo on it, and it's dripping onto the downpipe, and just white smoke is everywhere. It looks like my engine's blowing up or something, but all it is just coolant dripping on the downpipe and just making this horrible, horrible white cloud everywhere I go. So I gotta get this stupid thing done. I don't want to, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. So we're gonna get this thing done, and that's how I know mine is bad. So we're gonna start in the engine bay and take apart the stuff that we gotta take apart. All right, since my car does have the turbo, there's a lot less space in here, so it's even gonna be harder. So, all right, the first thing I'm gonna do is I have like custom heater hose lines, so I'm gonna take these things off first and cap them off. I'm gonna put a towel down next to the downpipe so I don't just have coolant running everywhere. So first thing I'm gonna do, take these heater hose lines off. Well, here's the show. I hate coolant. I haven't said that yet. It's my worst enemy. Uno. Oh. Probably should have thought about putting the towel right underneath it and not to the side of it. That was not smart. Oh. Okay, and the next thing, excuse all the wires and disgust. So, I have no Freon in my AC system at all, so I'm going to take off the two nuts right here that's holding this stupid canister on and pull it out of the way so it is not just, I can pull it, the heater box out in the car farther. That's going to help me a lot. Alright, so I got the AC lines off, I got the canister out of the way so I can pull this back farther, and my life will be a little bit easier, not a lot easier. So I'm gonna stick paper towels in there so nothing gets in the AC system. So you can see down in there that nut that's holding this AC condenser bracket on. You gotta take that all the way off because that's holding the heater box in. So there's one there. Okay, and there's that one over there. I gotta clean up these wires. But so there's one right there, and I gotta take both of those off so you can move the heater box around in there. All right, so here's a better look at those nuts I was talking about. Make sure you get these guys off. Big deal. So it'll be kind of set up like it'll be back there, and then you'll have a nut on top, and you gotta get this off, and then you gotta get this off. All right, so we're gonna move on to the inside now. So the first thing we gotta do is get the center console out, and it is quite a bit easier on the 86 cars in back than it is on the Aero cars. So I'll show you right now, and we'll get her out. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna start back here, and there's two Phillips head screws up here. And we're gonna start with those. And make sure to empty out your glove box before you start. Alright, so we got these two first. And then there's gonna be 4 inside the center console down here. Alright, all 4 of these are done. Alright, so make sure you got a little boot or something to store all your stuff. So after you get those 4 out and these 2 out, these 2 you can just pull up and it snaps right off. So now this comes off, and I'm going to store all my stuff right here. Throw it in the back seat. So your shifter probably is going to be a little bit different than mine. I had to do a custom thing so this stupid Hearst piece of plastic didn't just blow itself up. I have 2 little screws right here that I'll pop out, and then I can take the cover off. Alright, then you can take the shifter ball off. Yeah, then I can take the boot off. Boom, backseat. All right, so now you can take your ashtray and pull it out, and your miscellaneous stuff like I have. You can move off to the side for the second, and then there's gonna be 2 Phillips head screws down here, and then 2 down below that too, so you can go for it. I just personally put these ones back into the ashtray, so I remember that they go here. Alright, so the next, you can take your ashtray and your cigarette lighter, and there's going to be 1 tab on the back of your cigarette lighter. You can pull it off, and then you can get this guy out of the way too, which isn't totally necessary, but makes it so you can move stuff. So alright, now we're going to take the shifter off, and 2 for me Allen head screws or bolts, Allen head bolts. So we'll get those off. All right, so now we got this off. Okay, so now we can move this thing however we see fit. So if you're like most 86 cars, you'll have the little car right here. I have a bunch of gauges, and I'm gonna have to pull it out and disconnect some stuff so I can get in there. So that's not gonna be fun for me. Alright, so now I've pulled this thing out of the way enough to hopefully get this done. I'm going to try not to disconnect everything, but if I have to, I have to. You know, 'tis what it is. Alright, so and to pull the dash out far enough, you do have to drop the steering column a little bit. Alright, and so we took the fuse panel off, and so there's only 4 screws on it, and we just popped it right on out, and it came out. The other thing is we took the kick panel off. It's just 1 screw here, and then it just snaps right out. And so just to get access under here. All right, so let me show you what's going down under here. So there's 2 bolts on the steering column, 1 there and 1 there. And your hood latch is bolted to it. So there's gonna be a nut on the bottom and then another nut on top that holds the steering column. You gotta take all 4 off to get that off. And then you gotta loosen those ones over there. There's gonna be a nut there and a nut on the other side, and I just dropped it down. So I'm hoping that's gonna be far enough, but we'll see. So we're gonna keep going on, and you can see how far the steering column is now. Okay, see that bolt back there? Right above the steering column? You gotta get that one loose. 10 millimeter, yeah, I had a hard time for a second, but you gotta get that one. All right, and the next thing is down here, right behind the stereo, there's gonna be a bolt. Gotta get that off so we can slide it out. 11 millimeter. All right, so then there's a bolt right behind here. Here's a better look. But I can't really show it because it's way too dark under there, but it's an 11 mil, just like this, and it's hiding up in here, and you have to get under it from up and around, and there's one of the bolts back there. It's a pain in the butt. And the other thing is that bolt back in there, you don't have to take the nut all the way off, just loosen it up. So and on this side, it's a little bit different for the bolts. There's 1 bolt down here, this guy. And I don't know if this was totally necessary, but I think it was, so I'm gonna say it is. So I took that bolt out, and then this one, after you take the kick panel off, and you can see the ECU and all that fun stuff in there, it's right here. Much, much easier. So we can pop that out. So right now, we're gonna take off that screw, those 3, and then there's gonna be 2 over there as well, and then there's gonna be some up top in there, 1 on each side, and on the same thing over there. So then the dash will come off, or the dash pad will come off. So let's get that done. So you see these little black bolts that run all the way across the dash? Gotta take those out. And they're a pain in the butt because there's no room under here. So, FYI, it sucks. So another thing, you see that bolt right there? So you can't get to it with the dash on, but once you lean it down a little bit, you can get in there, and it's a 13 mil, and loosen it up. I wouldn't take it all the way off, but loosen it up, and it gives you a little bit more room to work with. That's just one thing I found helpful. Okay, so I've already had part of this taken apart. You can see the glove box. This kick panel is already apart. So for the glove box, it's just 2 screws in the glove box, and then you pushing on the tabs and it pulls out. That's all there is to it, and that comes out. And so I had the blower motor in here, and I took it out so I could access the ECU. You don't have to take the ECU out like I have. It's just, it was, I've been working on it. So, but that's just a couple of bolts. Really, all it is there's a nut that goes on here, and then up here, this tab, there's a screw that goes into there. And then there's one screw that holds it to the heater box, the heater core box. And then that blower motor can just actually pull out, and there's just one or two. There's a plug on the top of it, and then this little orange plug goes on it too. And then the blower motor can come out, and I think that would make it easier if you were doing it. It's not really that hard, and you can access this area better. Like I said, I've already had mine done, so that's why it looks like this. But just FYI if you're doing it. Okay. And so there's one bolt down here. Now let's see if I can even do it while here's my hidden right there. So there's a bolt back there, and we're looking at the heater box, and that holds it in place. So you got to remember to get that bolt out, 11 mil, pop out, and then the heater box can come out. So there's one more bolt up here. It's like, I don't even know if I can show you it. Back up under there, it's like right here. It's like a strap that holds the heater box and the dash on. So it's like a 11 millimeter, I think, and so I'm gonna pull it off, and then we should be able to get to it. Sorry I can't get you guys up in there, but. Oh, thank God. Oh, let me a little bit more, a little bit. Oh. Oh. Alright, so now that we got this away from the firewall, it is time to get to the actual heater core. So there's 4 little bolts on the heater core at each corner, and we got to take those off, and then the lid will come off, and we can access the heater core. Okay, so all these bolts up here were 8 millimeter, just so you know. And I guess now it's the moment of truth. Let's pop this sucker out. Whoa. Let's see how grody it is. Oh, hell, I already got the stuff on my hands. Oh, there's a clip in here. Alright, clip. It'd be really nice if you could just let me have this. I don't want to break you, but you're pushing me to a place where I'm gonna break you, dude. Suck. Okay, heater lid done. That needs to be cleaned up. Holy crap, it's nasty. Okay. Oh. Oh. That's not good. No, 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 no. Okay. Hold on. Pro tip. There's probably still junk in your heater core. Cover it up while you're pushing it out. No! I hate you. Alright, so here it is, the destroyed one in all its awful glory. Look how disgusting that thing is. It was leaking everywhere, by the way. There was no just part of it. I mean, that thing was horribly leaking. So, that's going to be a massive improvement over that. I'm way excited to put that in. But you see how dusty and dirty and gross that all is in there. I'm going to clean this all up real quick, and then we'll put the new heater core in and put it back together. I just can't put it back together looking all dirty like that. Oh, here's a good shot too. Look at that. Oh my God. So I got it back together, or I cleaned it up, vacuumed it out. It's all clean now. It's not disgusting anymore. It's not going to smell like doo-doo. So, time to put it back together. Alright, so we got the heater core, and they give you foam to slap around it. So I've seen a couple ways of just putting it right on the top or wrapping it all the way around. I'm going to wrap it all the way around just because I can, and I think it's the best way to do it. So, to each their own. I don't think it really matters, but I think the more foam, the better, so it can get a better seal. Alright, so there we are, all foamed up. So I've read time and time again that these things are very brittle and very soft, so you gotta be extra careful with them. I just thought I'd throw that out there real quick before you put this guy in. You just want to be sure you're not going to bust these things. Never done this, so I'm just going to assume everybody's right. So when you're pushing it back into the car, just be careful you don't snap these things. So let's put it in the car. So you just slide it on in there, push it through these two rubber grommets in here, and it should set in there really nice and flush. Just like that. And be careful when you're pushing it through. It's tough. I'm not gonna lie, I understand now why they say don't bend those things, because pushing it through this rubber is harder than I previously anticipated. So, and I left the caps on just so nothing gets in there. But now it's all put back together. It all looks good. Put the lid back on. The lid goes like this. So now all we gotta do is put it back together. And that's probably gonna be pretty hard too, but it's just the reversal of what we just did. So I'm gonna get to it. I'm going to put it back together and I'll get in touch with you guys. That looks like a lot of work. Alright, so that was the heater core install. Kicked my butt. I hope you found this helpful, and let me give you a quick little tip. It's way harder putting it back together than it is taking it apart. Oh my goodness. Lining everything up, making sure it goes back together the way it came apart, way 1,000 times harder than taking it apart. FYI, when you're doing it, just a heads up. So that is the end of this video. I hope you found some kind of value in it. If you did, please like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, if you want to see something else, drop it in the comments, and I will catch you guys on the next video.